She's falling for you, but she'll never just come out and say it. That's the problem most men face. You meet a woman, you feel the chemistry, but you're left wondering, is she into me or am I imagining it? She's warm one moment, distant the next. She laughs at your jokes, but never admits what she feels. And you lie awake at night replaying every interaction, trying to decode what's really going on. Here's the truth. Women rarely confess their feelings outright. Instead, they leave signs, subtle, hidden signals tucked into their words, their tone, their body language. Most men miss them. And when you miss them, you either chase too hard and scare her away, or you back off completely and lose your chance. But it doesn't have to be that way. Once you know what to look for, you can read her without guessing. You'll recognize when she's opening her heart, even while she's trying to hide it. You'll see the shift in her energy, the small touches, the nervous tells she can't control. And when you see them, you'll know exactly how to respond with calm confidence instead of confusion. That's what this video is about. 10 secret signs she's falling for you, and how to recognize them before it's too late. Let's get into it. Number 1. She opens up her heart in ways she doesn't with others. Most women are careful with what they share. They'll laugh, they'll chat, they'll keep things light, but their deeper world stays hidden. That's why this first sign is so powerful. When she's falling for you, she lets you in. Not all the way, not all at once, but enough to show you she trusts you in ways she doesn't trust others. It often starts small. She brings up a memory that isn't polished, something that reveals a scar. Maybe she mentions a rough breakup, a falling out with family, or the stress of raising her kids. And then she waits, watching how you respond. This isn't random conversation. It's a quiet test, one she only gives to someone she's drawn to. Take Mark, 51, from Dallas. He met Julia, 47, at a local volunteer group. At first, their chats were about the basics: work, hobbies, weekend plans. But one evening, as they walked to the parking lot, Julia surprised him. She spoke about her divorce, the loneliness she felt when her kids left for college, and how she sometimes doubted her worth. She said, "I don't usually tell people this stuff, but with you it feels easier." That's it right there. She opened her heart because she felt a connection. She didn't dump her life story on just anyone. She chose Mark. And whether she admitted it or not, it was because she already saw him as someone who mattered. This is where most men miss the point. They brush it off as, she just needed to vent. But think about it. Why didn't she vent to her girlfriends? Why didn't she keep it light, like she does with everyone else? She opened up because you've already stepped into her inner world. That's not friendship territory. That's attraction, disguised as trust. Here's what's happening psychologically. When someone reveals vulnerability, they're seeking intimacy. And intimacy, in its purest form, is emotional before it's physical. Her willingness to share her private battles is proof that her guard is coming down. And once the guard drops, it's a sign she's already picturing you in a role that goes beyond casual. Now, here's your role in this moment. Don't panic. Don't try to fix everything. Don't minimize it with a joke. Just listen. Just be present. Nod. Ask thoughtful questions. Give her the space to feel safe. Because when you honor her vulnerability without judgment, you reinforce the bond she's already building with you. Mark handled it well. He didn't jump in with advice. He simply said, "I get it. That must have been really hard." Julia smiled, looked relieved, and leaned in closer. That night changed everything between them. Why? Because she realized he wasn't just another man. He was someone who could hold her truth. And let me be clear, women don't do this with everyone. If she's letting you see the cracks, if she's sharing her fears, if she's asking for your perspective on something personal, she's not just chatting. She's showing you that you matter, and that she's already beginning to imagine you in a deeper part of her life. If you've ever had a woman open up to you like this, drop a comment, "I've seen this," and stay tuned. because if her words reveal her heart, the next sign shows up even faster in her entire energy the moment you walk into the room. Number 2. She lights up the moment you walk in. You've seen it happen. You step into a room, and before you've even said a word, she changes. Her shoulders relax, her face brightens, her smile appears faster than it should if it were just politeness. Maybe her laugh becomes a little louder, her posture a little more open. It's not subtle, it's energy. When a woman is falling for you, she can't always hide the way your presence shifts her mood. It's like her whole body gives away the truth before she's even aware of it. And here's the important part. This shift doesn't happen for everyone. It happens for you. Pay attention to the small things. She may excuse herself from a group conversation just to greet you. She may break eye contact with others the moment you enter, redirecting her attention your way. She may even seem like a different version of herself, warmer, lighter, more alive. This isn't just friendliness. It's the psychology of anticipation. Before you arrived, she was in one state. When you appeared, her state changed. That's desire in action. The Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." What we think about most has the greatest impact on our emotions. So if your presence alone can shift her energy, it's because her thoughts have already been circling around you. You've occupied her mind before you walked through the door, and seeing you confirms what she was already feeling. Now, here's where men often miss it. They dismiss it as coincidence. They think, she's just being nice, she's like that with everyone. But if you watch closely, you'll notice the difference. She doesn't brighten that way for every guy. She doesn't rearrange her body language, her tone, or her attention for just anyone. That glow, that change, is reserved. And when you see it, you know you've crossed from casual to meaningful. This sign is subtle but powerful, because it's not about words at all. It's not about what she tells you. It's about what her entire presence reveals. People can fake words, but it's much harder to fake spontaneous joy. So what should you do when you notice it? Simple, stay grounded. Don't make a big deal out of it. Don't tease her with, "Wow, you look happy to see me." That forces her to retreat. Instead, match her energy calmly. Smile back. Speak with warmth. Let the moment flow naturally. By not overreacting, you give her permission to keep showing it. And here's something else. This sign often grows over time. The more she feels for you, the faster the shift happens when you appear. At first, maybe it's a subtle smile. Later, it's obvious, a sparkle in her eyes, a shift in her whole posture. That's how you know her feelings aren't fading, they're deepening. Seneca once said, "Wherever there is a human being, there is an opportunity for kindness." When she lights up for you, it's not just attraction, it's kindness at its rawest form, her heart softening, her guard lowering, her affection revealing itself in the simplest way possible. So the next time you walk in and see that glow, don't brush it off. Recognize it for what it is, a silent confession. If you've ever seen someone's energy shift just because you showed up, leave a comment, "I've seen this," and keep watching. Because if her whole mood changes when you arrive, wait until you notice what she does next, finding reasons to get you alone. Number 3. She creates excuses to get you alone. There's a big difference between casual friendliness and personal interest. One of the clearest ways you can tell she's falling for you is when she looks for opportunities to step away from the crowd and be with you, just the two of you. This doesn't always look dramatic. Sometimes it's as simple as her asking, "Hey, want to grab a coffee?" Or suggesting, "Let's take a quick walk outside." It might even be her lingering after a group event, finding reasons to keep you talking while everyone else is leaving. On the surface, these moments can look innocent, but the truth is, they're carefully created. She doesn't just want company, she wants your company. And she's testing something, the chemistry that can only be felt when it's one-on-one. Let me give you a real example. Thomas, 54, a software consultant from Seattle, met Angela, 49, at a professional networking group. Their conversations in the group were always light, but Angela kept finding ways to pull him aside. One time she asked for help carrying a box to her car, even though it was light enough for her to handle alone. Another time, she invited him to walk with her to the parking garage, even though it was in the opposite direction of where she knew Thomas had parked. At first, he thought nothing of it, but the more it happened, the clearer it became. These weren't coincidences. She was creating moments where they could be alone, where the conversation could shift from polite to personal. And that's the point. When a woman is falling for you, she doesn't just want to share space with you in public. She wants intimacy, the kind of connection that can't be tested with a group around. She wants to know how it feels when it's just the two of you. Here's what makes this sign powerful. She's not asking directly, "I want to be with you." Instead, she's setting the stage, creating chances for you to notice the bond growing, and she's paying close attention to how you respond. Do you brush it off? Do you make excuses? Or do you step into that moment with presence? Thomas eventually realized that Angela wasn't really interested in the help or the walks. What she wanted was his attention, undivided. And when he stopped treating it like a coincidence and started meeting her energy with calm confidence, their connection deepened instantly. This is where most men go wrong. They think, she probably just needed a hand, or she was just being polite. But if she's consistently finding ways to pull you aside, especially when it's unnecessary, that's not random. That's intentional. That's attraction trying to carve out space for itself. Here's how to handle it. Don't joke about it. Don't say, "Oh, are you trying to get me alone?" That kills the vibe. Just go with it. Walk with her. Have the coffee. Carry the box. And then use that moment to engage on a deeper level. Ask questions. Listen. Let the space she created turn into intimacy. Because here's the truth. These excuses aren't about the task. They're about the connection. And if you miss it, you miss the chance to experience the real depth of her interest. So pay attention. If she keeps finding little reasons to pull you aside, she's not just being friendly. She's making room for something more. If this has ever happened to you, drop a comment. I've seen this. And stay tuned, because if she wants you alone, the next sign goes even further. Her body itself starts to tell the truth, no matter what her words say. Number 4. Her body leans in, closer than her words ever admit. You can learn a lot from what people say, but if you really want to know the truth, watch how close they stand. When a woman is falling for you, her words may still sound careful, polite, or neutral, but her body often tells another story. She leans in, she closes the distance. She positions herself nearer to you than she needs to, and it's never random. Think about it. You're talking across the table, and although she can hear you perfectly, she edges her chair closer. You're standing in a group, but her shoulder drifts toward yours. You share a laugh, and her hand just happens to brush your arm. None of these moves are accidents. They're her body revealing what her mouth is still too cautious to say. I want to be near you. Why does this matter? Because humans are wired for proximity. We naturally gravitate toward what we want. Women, in particular, often guard their words, but their body language slips through. If she's falling for you, her presence will keep leaning your way, whether she admits it or not. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The soul is dyed by the thoughts. When her thoughts are on you, when her feelings quietly center on you, her body reveals the truth. It orbits closer, pulled like gravity, showing you where her attention truly lies." Now, of course, context matters. A one-time lean could be coincidence, but repeated closeness, consistent little touches, that's a sign her attraction is spilling out physically, and it's one of the clearest indicators you're no longer just another face in the room. Here's where most men make mistakes. They either ignore it, chalking it up to friendliness, or they overreact, making a joke like, "Oh, you're getting close." Both kill the vibe. The right move is balance. Hold your ground. Stay calm. Let her closeness feel natural. By doing nothing but remaining steady, you encourage her to lean in again and again. Seneca once said, "Truth is simple." That applies here. Her words may be complicated, her excuses may be complicated, but her body language, the way she drifts closer without realizing it, is simple truth. Now let's be real. Reading signs is just the beginning. If you want to understand how to respond in ways that build attraction instead of breaking it, you'll need more than a YouTube video. That's why I invite you to become a channel member. Inside, you'll get deeper strategies on Stoicism, psychology, and relationships content designed for men who want clarity and control in every part of life. It's not about tricks. It's about learning to lead with calm confidence, the way a Stoic man should. So next time you notice her leaning in, don't dismiss it. Recognize it for what it is, one of the clearest signs she's drawn to you, even if she won't admit it out loud. If you've ever noticed someone drifting closer in a way that spoke louder than words, drop a comment, "I've felt that," and keep watching. Because if her body is already betraying her feelings, the next sign shows she's no longer thinking in terms of I or me. She starts speaking about you and her together, as if you're already a team. Number 5. She starts saying we when she really means you and her. Language reveals a lot more than people realize. Most of the time, when someone talks about themselves, they use I or me. That's natural. But when a woman is falling for you, she starts slipping into something different. She begins to use we. At first, it might sound casual. She says, "We should check out that new restaurant," even though you've never made plans together. Or she jokes, "We'd totally win at trivia night," as if the two of you are already a team. She may even comment, "We'd have fun on a road trip," planting the idea of shared experiences that haven't happened yet. This shift is subtle, but it's incredibly revealing. By using we, she's no longer picturing herself alone. She's including you in her future, even in the smallest ways. That's attraction at work, bleeding into her words. Let's put this into a real-life example. Michael, 45, an architect from Denver, met Lisa, 42, at a local wine tasting event. At first, their conversations stayed light, focused on the event itself. But soon, Lisa started framing things in terms of we. One night, while talking about hiking trails, she said, "We'd probably enjoy that one together, it's not too steep." Michael noticed that she kept saying it we instead of I. It wasn't just once, it was a pattern. At first, he brushed it off, thinking it was just a habit of speech. But later, he realized what it really meant. Lisa wasn't just making conversation, she was signaling that in her mind, they were already connected, already part of something bigger than two individuals. And this is the key. The language shift isn't about grammar, it's about intimacy. When she consistently uses we, she's subconsciously letting you know that she sees you as part of her story. She's already imagining shared experiences, shared wins, even shared struggles. Why does this matter? Because language shapes reality. The more she says we, the more she feels we. It's her way of testing how it feels to include you, not just in casual talk, but in her life. Now, here's where men often miss the point. They don't notice the pattern. They dismiss it as coincidence. But if you listen carefully, you'll hear it. And once you do, you'll realize it's one of the clearest signs her feelings are moving from attraction to attachment. Michael eventually caught on. The next time Lisa said, "We should try that new Italian place," he leaned into it. He smiled and said, "Yeah, we should. How about Friday?" Her face lit up. That one small response turned her words into reality. That's your move too. Don't call it out or make it awkward. Just flow with it. When she says we, take it as an opening. Match her energy. Suggest something that makes that we real. By doing that, you confirm what she's already been imagining. This is how relationships often begin, not with grand declarations, but with small slips of language that reveal big emotions. The shift from I to we is her way of letting you know she's already seeing you differently. So pay attention. If she's saying we when she really means you and her, she's not just talking. She's letting you in on the way her heart is changing. If you've ever noticed this subtle shift in language, drop a comment, "I've heard this." Law. And keep watching, because if her words start binding you together, the next sign gets even more physical. She won't just hint at connection. She'll use playful touches to test the spark between you. Number 6. She playfully touches you, just enough to make you wonder. There's a reason physical touch feels so powerful. Words can be polite, smiles can be friendly, but touch is intimate, touch is primal. And when a woman is falling for you, she often can't resist slipping in small, playful touches that say more than her words ever could. It might be subtle, a quick brush of her hand against yours as she passes you something, a light tap on your arm when she laughs, a playful nudge with her shoulder as you walk side by side. None of these touches are necessary. They're chosen, they're deliberate in their casualness, and they're designed to test the spark between you. Why playful? Because it feels safe. A playful touch gives her cover. If you don't respond, she can laugh it off. If you lean in, she can escalate. Either way, she's reading you, measuring your reaction, and using that moment to build a deeper connection. The psychology here is simple but powerful. Human beings release oxytocin, often called the bonding hormone, through touch. That means every small, casual graze isn't just a gesture, it's a chemical signal. It's her way of drawing herself closer, one step at a time. And here's the key. She doesn't do this with everyone. She's not touching the guy next to her at work. She's not brushing against every man she talks to at a party. These small touches are selective. They're reserved. They're for you. The Stoics understood the power of restraint, of saying little while meaning much. Epictetus once said, "If you wish to be loved, love." When she reaches out in playful, seemingly small ways, she's giving you love in miniature. She's showing interest not by declaring it, but by demonstrating it through action. Now, this is where a lot of men go wrong. They either freeze up, acting like the touch never happened, or they go too far, making it obvious or awkward. The right move is balance. Acknowledge it with presence, match her energy. If she playfully nudges your shoulder, smile and nudge back, but gently. If her hand brushes yours, don't yank yours away in nervousness. Just let it linger for a moment, calm and confident. These touches are her way of opening the door. By responding with ease, you're showing her that you're comfortable letting her in, and that comfort builds trust. Another important point: frequency matters. One random touch could be coincidence, but repeated playful touches, especially paired with eye contact or laughter, that's a pattern. That's attraction trying to break through the surface. Think about it this way: she doesn't need to touch you to tell a story, to laugh at a joke, to have a conversation. If she keeps finding reasons to reach out physically, it's because she's trying to bridge the gap between you, not just emotionally, but physically. Seneca once wrote, "Most powerful is he who has himself in his own power." That's your role here. Don't get carried away. Don't mistake every touch as an invitation for more than it island. Instead, stay grounded. Let the touches happen. Enjoy them. Meet them with confidence, not desperation. That self-control is exactly what deepens attraction, because it shows you're not shaken by a simple graze. So the next time she taps your arm, leans in close, or playfully bumps into you, don't ignore it, don't overplay it. Just recognize it for what it is, a quiet signal she's falling, and she's testing if you feel the same. If you've ever noticed those small, playful touches, drop a comment, "I felt that." And stay with me, because if touch reveals hidden attraction, the next sign proves it even more. She won't just play around physically, she'll invest in your wins as if they were her own. Number 7. She supports you like your wins are her own. One of the clearest signs a woman is falling for you is how she reacts when you succeed. Attraction isn't just about chemistry, glances, or touches, it's about investment. And when she's truly drawn to you, she invests in your victories as if they belong to her too. It doesn't matter if the win is big or small. Maybe you landed a new client at work. Maybe you finally finished that home project you've been dragging out for months. Or maybe you crushed a workout goal at the gym. Pay attention to her reaction. If she lights up, if she celebrates you more than most of your friends do, that's a sign. Let's make this real with an example. David, 52, from Phoenix, works in real estate. He met Rebecca, 48, at a local community event. At first, their connection seemed casual. They chatted when they ran into each other, nothing more. But David noticed something different when he mentioned his work milestones. One evening, he casually told Rebecca that he had just closed on a tough property deal. She didn't just nod politely or say, "That's great." She leaned in, asked for details, and said, "I knew you could do it." That's huge. Weeks later, she brought it up again, congratulating him a second time, remembering the specifics. David admitted later that none of his guy friends or even casual acquaintances had celebrated him like that. Rebecca's reaction stood out. It felt personal, it felt genuine, and it showed that his success mattered to her because he mattered to her. This is the key difference. Support from someone who's just polite is shallow. They say, "Good for you," and move on. But support from a woman who's falling for you feels deeper. She remembers, she revisits, she keeps bringing it up because she feels invested. Think about it. When you truly care about someone, their victories feel like your victories. You cheer harder, you remember longer, you celebrate more deeply. That's what's happening here. She's emotionally attaching her happiness to your success. And it doesn't stop at words. Support often shows up in action. She might send you an encouraging text before a big meeting. She might rearrange her schedule to attend something important to you. Or she might simply show up with a smile, proving that she wants to be part of your wins, not just hear about them. For men, this is often surprising. You're used to going through life carrying your own weight, fighting your own battles. Having someone in your corner, cheering you on, might even feel unusual. But don't ignore it. Don't brush it off as friendliness. Recognize it as one of the clearest signs she's already emotionally invested. The Stoics taught that happiness isn't just about what happens to us, but how we share in the happiness of others. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "What brings no benefit to the hive brings none to the bee. When she treats your wins as if they're hers, it's because she sees herself as part of your hive. She's already merging her sense of joy with yours." So how should you respond? Appreciate it. Let her know you notice her support. You don't have to make it dramatic. A simple "Thanks, that means a lot coming from you," goes a long way. By acknowledging her encouragement, you reinforce the bond she's trying to build. Because here's the truth, support isn't casual, it's commitment in disguise. And when she supports you like your victories are her own, it's not just kindness, it's affection. It's proof she's already stepping into a deeper role in your life. If you've ever had someone celebrate your wins like this, drop a comment, "I've had this." And stick around, because if her support gives her away, the next sign is even more revealing. It's not about what she does for you, but how she reacts in the moments when her guard slips and nervousness takes over. Number 8. She gets nervous, fidgets, or blushes around you. Attraction doesn't always show up as smooth confidence. Sometimes it shows up in the exact opposite, nervousness. When a woman is falling for you, she may not strut with ease. Instead, her body betrays her in little ways she can't fully control. Watch closely. She fiddles with her hair when you're talking. She adjusts her clothes even though nothing's out of place. Her hands can't seem to stay still. Maybe she avoids eye contact for a moment, then glances back at you quickly. And if you tease her or give her a compliment, you might notice the color rising in her cheeks. Why does this happen? Because emotions show up in the body before they can be managed by logic. Her heart rate goes up, her breathing shifts, her skin flushes. These aren't choices, they're responses. And they're all tied to the heightened state she feels when you're around. The irony is that men often misread this. They think, she's acting awkward, she must not be interested. But the truth is usually the opposite. Indifference breeds calm. Desire creates tension. If she's fidgeting, stumbling over her words, or blushing when you speak, it's not rejection. It's her body revealing what her mind is trying to hide. The Stoics spoke often about the gap between control and impulse. Epictetus wrote, "It is not things themselves that disturb us, but our judgments about them." When she's around you, her judgments are racing. She's evaluating how she sounds, how she looks, what you're thinking. That self-consciousness is a giveaway. It's not that you're disturbing her, it's that her attraction has unsettled her balance. Now, not all nervous behavior means attraction. Some people are naturally shy or anxious in social situations. The key here is context. Notice if her nervousness is selective. Is she calm with others but more restless with you? Does she blush only when you're the one complimenting her? That contrast is what makes the sign clear. And here's something important, don't call it out. If you say, "Why are you so nervous?" or "Are you blushing?" you risk embarrassing her and shutting the moment down. The better move is to act steady, calm, and natural. By holding your composure, you give her permission to relax over time, and that calm presence makes you even more magnetic. Think of it this way. Her nervousness is a silent compliment. It means she cares about how you see her. She wants to make the right impression. She's investing emotional energy into the interaction, and her body can't keep up with her intention to appear composed. Seneca once said, "He who is brave is free." In this context, your bravery isn't about charging into battle. It's about remaining relaxed and grounded when she's flustered. By being the calm in her storm, you give her freedom to settle into comfort. That's how nervousness transforms into connection. So the next time you notice her fiddling with her jewelry, glancing down with a shy smile, or blushing when you compliment her, don't see it as weakness. See it as proof. Proof that she's feeling something she can't quite contain. Proof that her attraction is showing up in ways she didn't plan. If you've ever seen these little nervous tells, drop a comment. "I've noticed this." And keep watching, because if she's already blushing and fidgeting, the next sign is even clearer. She'll start showing up in your world by accident, running into you far too often to be coincidence. Number 9. She mirrors your world as if she already belongs in it. One of the most fascinating signs of attraction isn't what she says or even how she touches you. It's how she starts reflecting your world back to you, as if she's quietly weaving herself into your life before either of you admits it out loud. When a woman is falling for you, she notices your habits, your routines, your preferences, and before long, she begins to align with them. She doesn't copy you like a clone. Instead, she subtly mirrors you, creating overlaps that make it feel like she's already part of your story. It might look like this. You mention a gym you like, and suddenly she's there, saying she just decided to try it out. You talk about a podcast you enjoy, and weeks later she's quoting it back to you. Or you share that you love a particular coffee shop, and the next time you walk in, she's sitting there with a smile, as if it's pure coincidence. Let's ground this with an example. Richard, 56, a financial advisor from Boston, noticed this with Emily, 50, whom he met through a local hiking club. At first, their interactions were limited to weekend hikes. But soon, Richard began spotting Emily in other parts of his life. He mentioned once that he loved a small jazz bar downtown. A week later, she said, "I actually checked it out last night. The music was amazing." He told her about his Saturday morning routine at the farmer's market, and sure enough, she started showing up there, casually saying, "I was already in the area." It wasn't just about places, it was about interests. She began echoing his hobbies, asking about books he liked, even trying recipes he recommended. Richard realized she wasn't just listening. She was actively folding his world into hers. This is the essence of mirroring, its attraction translated into behavior. She wants to feel closer, so she brings herself into your orbit, not with grand declarations, but with subtle overlaps. Psychologically, this makes perfect sense. People bond through shared experiences. The more your worlds seem to intersect, the more natural closeness feels. By mirroring your choices, she's creating that sense of overlap, making it easier to imagine a future together. Here's where many men miss it. They think, "Oh, what a coincidence," or "She must just like the same things I do." But repeated coincidences, patterns of mirroring, those aren't accidents. They're signs she's intentionally aligning herself with you. And this goes deeper than logistics. Mirroring often shows up in body language too. Maybe she picks up your phrases, starts laughing at the same pace you do, or matches your energy in conversations. These small reflections aren't mockery, they're connection. They're her subconscious way of saying, "I feel in sync with you." Richard eventually saw the truth. Emily wasn't just showing up randomly. She was making an effort gently, subtly to step into his world. And when he stopped treating it as coincidence and started acknowledging her presence, their bond deepened almost overnight. So here's the takeaway. If she's mirroring your world, showing up where you are, taking on your interests, aligning her energy with yours, she's not just curious. She's investing. She's placing herself in your life as if she already belongs there. If you've ever noticed someone echoing your world this way, drop a comment, "I've seen this." And stay tuned, because if she's already mirroring your life, the final sign is even more intimate. It's not just about what she reflects back, but what she remembers, the little details about what excites you, the things she holds on to because you matter that much. Number 10. She remembers the small things, especially what excites you. If there's one sign that reveals her feelings beyond doubt, it's this: she remembers. Not just the obvious details like your job or where you grew up. She remembers the small things, the throwaway comments, the offhand remarks you barely recall saying. And she doesn't just remember them, she brings them back, especially when they touch on what excites you most. Think about how attraction works in the mind. When someone matters to us, their words stick. A random comment about music, food, or a childhood story doesn't just fade. It lingers, it grows, it becomes part of how we think about them. That's what's happening when she recalls those little things you said weeks ago. Maybe you once mentioned that you love a certain band, and the next time you meet, she casually says, "I saw they're touring again, thought of you." Or maybe you told her your favorite whiskey brand, and she shows up with a bottle, smiling like it was nothing. It wasn't nothing. It was everything. Memory is investment. It requires energy. And when she remembers what excites you, she's proving that you're not just background noise in her life. You're central enough to take up space in her thoughts. Here's the deeper layer. She doesn't just remember facts. She remembers emotions. She recalls how your eyes lit up when you spoke about your dream vacation. She remembers the way your voice shifted when you talked about your first car. She holds on to not just the content, but the feeling behind it. That's intimacy, paying attention to not only what you say, but how you feel when you say it. This is where most men underestimate women. They think attraction is about the big gestures, but often it's these quiet details that reveal the truth. A woman who's falling for you doesn't need grand declarations. Her memory does the talking. Psychologists call this emotional recall. When we care, we store not just data, but the experience attached to it. That's why she can repeat your words back in context, weeks or months later. She's been holding on to them, turning them over in her mind, using them as a way to feel closer to you, even when you're apart. Now, here's where this becomes especially meaningful. Remembering isn't just about proving she listens. It's her way of weaving you into her reality. By keeping your passions, preferences, and quirks alive in her memory, she's carrying a part of you with her. And every time she references them, she's sending a subtle message. I've been thinking about you when you weren't here. The Stoic philosophers often spoke about the weight of attention. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." If her thoughts are colored by you, if she's filling her mind with your details, then it's no wonder her actions follow. That's why she remembers. That's why she surprises you with little nods to what excites you. What should you do when you notice this? First, acknowledge it. Don't brush it off with, "Oh, you remembered that?" Say something like, "It means a lot that you remembered." That response honors her effort and deepens the connection she's trying to build. Second, recognize what it means. She's not cataloging your life out of politeness. She's doing it because you matter. The details she stores are the ones that fuel her attraction and her imagination. Finally, let it guide you. If she's remembering the small things, she's giving you permission to go deeper. Share more of yourself. Give her more to hold on to. Because every piece she remembers becomes another thread tying her closer to you. So here's the truth. When she remembers the little things, especially what excites you, it's not just memory at work. It's affection. It's desire. It's her way of showing you that in her world, you're unforgettable. So let's bring it all together. We've just gone through 10 powerful signs that show when a woman is falling for you, even if she's trying hard to hide it. From the way she opens up her heart, to how her body leans in, to the little details she never forgets. These aren't random behaviors. They're signals. And once you learn to recognize them, you stop living in confusion. You start moving with clarity, confidence, and control. Now, if you're ready to take this understanding even further, I invite you to become a channel member. Inside, you'll find exclusive lessons on Stoicism, psychology, and relationships that go deeper than what we share here publicly. These are designed for men who want more than just quick tips. They want mastery, calm power, and lasting results. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. That way, you'll never miss the daily content we release to help you grow stronger, wiser, and more confident in every part of life. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow.